like that's quite likely unless you're like, I don't know, working for like some big organization or something. But if you're like a business owner, let's say if you like solve a problem, like a big problem that has been like have had demand or whatever, there's untapped opportunities, you know. So it really depends on what you want. It really depends on what you want. It really depends on the opportunities that present themselves. But these two countries, as you said in the beginning, as they're close to each other, but like extremely different, like in every way possible.
Yeah. Do you feel as if you have that hustle mentality now, or is that something you brought? Is that something you kind of developed living in Ethiopia, or is that just something you feel like you need to have to thrive in Ethiopia?
You definitely need to have a certain like percentage of it for sure. But then again, like, so there's like pull and push factors to it, you know, because first of all, like, you know, when you just see things in front of you, possibilities in front of you, of course you're going to be more drawn to like, you know, let me try this, let me do this, you know, let me work on this and so on. So I feel like it's something that could brew inside, because of course when you're not like in comfort, for example, if there's someone in a country where like working a 9 to 5 means that like you're like, you know, a good middle class position, and you could probably like save and buy property or whatever it is by that month, by your 9 to 5 job, you wouldn't think of like, you know, just doing things on the side, starting a business or whatever it is, you know. But when that's not really a possibility, then it definitely does end up pushing you, or like, you know, at least inspiring you. And just when a country is like inspired, like a city is inspired, you know, just like as a whole or so on, like, you know, there's other people in the same page and stuff, you know. So I think really it's a mix of both. It's something that some people, I believe, probably have it in them, but also it really also depends on the environment, like the environment that presents itself.
Well, if you don't mind, tell us about maybe some of like your current hustles or past hustles, or maybe some things that you're wanting to do for, again, yourself, maybe the country or city. Yeah, we would love to know more about what's going on in Ethiopia and like how you're playing a role in that.
Okay, so I wouldn't say, I mean, like, because like I know, I mean, like, first of all, the word hustler for me is like kind of, it doesn't really have like, it really depends on what meaning you give to it. But then usually
Ambitious, I would say. So
ambition and so on.
ambitious,
Exactly, yeah. So I would say for me, I don't have anything like, I don't have like business that's like based here. But one thing that I did though was when I graduated, and then I went to work. I did a 9 to 5 for like 6 months, I think, or like 9 months or something like that. And you know, like the whole, I just weighed the advantages and the disadvantages, and I was like, I can't be waking up in the morning and taking public transportation and all that for like, really, like what I was being paid was not worth it, you know. And then so like 4 years ago, I just, actually more than 4 years ago, right before COVID, I just decided to pursue freelancing. Like I was like, I had skills, I was very good at marketing, I was a writer as well, and I quit my job before I even found any gig online. But I was like, I'll figure it out, like I don't care. And so it's been like that the past 4.5 years. Right now I just do a mix of freelancing and remote work as well. But so basically I'm in marketing and in content writing and journalism. And so it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of lessons learned along the way. When I started, there wasn't a lot of freelancers here. Nobody understood what I told them. You know, like, I'm like, no, I work online, and they're like, that's a scam, and I'm like, no, it's not. Trust me. And like even like my family found it really hard to believe. Like they're just like, especially my dad, he's like, you just stay at home. I'm like, working. But right now it's getting quite common actually. You know, there's even like co-working spaces.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, like COVID made it like, I feel like I really got into freelancing at the right time, because like 2 years later, I would say like the saturation like doubled, you know. But by then already I was already quite established. Already my portfolio was already like, you know, a bit more full and so on. So it was better. But like for anyone who started off at that time, I bet it was a bit harder. But like now it's very common. Like even when you tell anyone you freelance, they kind of like most of the time they would understand what you're talking about. But a few, like when I started though, like it was unheard of. It was unheard of.
No, I mean, right, especially with COVID, then remote, like you said, remote work, freelance work just kind of like shot up. A lot of people are like, you know what, I have to put it in my own hands. I can't,
Yeah,
can't have faith in the 9 to 5 or whatever. I got to help myself out first. So no,
exactly.
yeah, I understand that. So now that how many years have you now lived in Ethiopia? How many years?
9 years.
Nine
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
9 years. And so was it again, I know you came as a teenager, but has it been easy for you to, find community, make friends? I know again, you're still working on the language, but has it been easy to like assimilate and like, I don't know, do things like go out, travel within the country? Like how's that process been for, a young freelancer like yourself?
So I would say I don't know about like I haven't traveled a lot like around the world, but like I would say Ethiopians, they're either curious or they're
Okay.
nice. Like it's one of the two,
All
like
right.
yeah, they're not going to be rude for no reason. So it was very nice. Like like I adjusted quite well. And as I told you, like the high school that I went to when I came here was like it was an international school. So honestly speaking, almost everyone was not from here, or they were Ethiopians, but just like me, raised elsewhere.
Okay.
There was a lot of Arabs as well, so I was able to like adjust very easily. And I feel like my proper like introduction to the community was when I joined university, because I went to a local university here, the
Okay.
biggest one actually in Ethiopia. It's called Addis University. And yeah, that was a very new experience because it's supposed to be in English, but the instructors would just speak Amharic in the middle. They just like, and I'm like, yo, I don't get
Uh-oh.
this. And so yeah, so I think that's when like I got like great grasp of the language at
Yeah.
that time. And then again, after I started working, it developed even more. But to be honest, I still have friends that I made from university, since university days, like
Good.
that's yeah, I'm still like in touch, like not in touch. I saw her yesterday, so not even in touch. But yeah, like it's the adjusting has not been that hard when it comes
Okay.
to people of my age or like people in like similar communities or so on. But as you said, when it comes to like traveling out of town, even going to like less like crowded neighborhoods or like remote places here and so on,
Yeah.
no, it's still dangerous. Or like people just know straight away. Like for example, I can't really bargain that much, because
Okay.
like I would like they would kind of figure out I'm not from here like quite soon,
Fair.
quite fast, I mean. But it's like so yeah, when it comes to these things, I just take a local with me for sure. I'll be like, okay, no one of you guys
Okay.
is coming with me. The big marketplaces,
Yeah.
anywhere that's super crowded and so
Yeah.
on. Out of town, like I would not travel out of town on my own. But I
Okay.
feel like I think that's yeah, it's I
No.
wouldn't do it for
Now,
sure.
so
Yeah.
I want to stay on that topic a little bit, right? So you mentioned that it's dangerous, right? So is it dangerous because you're traveling alone as a woman? Is it dangerous because it's dangerous for everyone? Are there some areas where there's maybe it's like inner conflicts? And, you hear that,
Yeah,
in different
yeah,
regions,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
what are
All that,
what are
all
some of like the
that.
biggest? And what about the like? Is it even possible? Are there trains, buses, or like? Let us know a little bit more about that.
Like traveling out of Addis,
Like,
right? Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
within
yeah. Just if you wanted
within
to travel within the country, again, you mentioned it's
yeah.
dangerous. Like, so why is it dangerous? Then also,
Okay.
like, is it even possible, really, or is it kind of
Mm.
not really?
So it really depends
Okay,
when the time it is that you ask, or like where it is that you're going, because Ethiopia is huge, really. So I would say if you're going to any of like the top 5, 6, 7 major cities, honestly, if you're flying by plane, you're gonna be fine. Like I've
okay,
I've done it too, I've gone by plane, landed there, stayed there on my own. I actually went for work, so it was even like I wasn't even like really just doing fun. I was also doing a lot of work, so I did all that on my own. That's fine. But it's traveling by land that's a bit challenging. So that really, really depends on like any conflicts happening at that time, any so disruptions happening at that time. So you really need to do your research. You really need to ask people, and the best way to do is like not even research, asking people, like
yeah,
just people. Like for example, a lot of bus drivers wouldn't even drive there if there's conflict. They're just gonna tell you like, don't go, or
yeah,
like pain. And then there are times where there's conflict in the cities itself, like not Addis. That has never happened that hasn't happened in Addis since I've been here, but other cities.